Guys, today I'm going to do a book talk on City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. City of Glass is the third book in the Mortal Instruments series. If you don't know what that is, it's about Clare, who discovers the world of shadow hunters, which are humans that have angel blood in them, that fight demons and stuff and things like that. And those downworlders, those are vampires, werewolves, and fairies and warlocks. So this is a very good book series. If you haven't read it, you really should. Again, this is the third book. There's 6 of them, and there's also series that goes with it. So if you haven't read this book, then go read it. And if you've read City of Runs and City of Ashes, if you're reading my book talk on those, click the eye up here. But anyways, go read the book if you haven't, and then come back and we can talk about it. So if you haven't read the book, you have to buy now, because I'm going to talk about it, and I don't want to spoil it. Okay, so this starts out with she wants to go find Ragnarfell to wake her mom up, and so they have to go to the City of Glass in Idris, Atlantic or something. Yeah, I don't know. And so Jason's trying to convince her not to go, but she wants to go, and then Simon tries to convince her not to go. So they open the portal earlier, and Jace tells everyone Clare doesn't want to go. And they end up having to battle Forsaken, which ended up killing Madeline, the person that had told Clare that her mom had to wake up her mom. And then, but anyways, they kill her, and then Simon had gotten hurt, so Jace took Simon to the portal. And Jace, Isabel, Alec, their parents, Simon went through the portal to the last city. Later, Clare goes down and expecting to be able to leave, but then she figures that they had left already, and so she draws herself a portal and she ends up going, but she falls into Lake Lynn. She swallows a lot of it, and Luke tries to get all the water out of her because that lake is poisoned or cursed, and so it causes hallucinations and makes Shadowhunters crazy. So they have to walk all the way to the Glass City. And so since Jace had taken Simon in, we're getting in trouble for that, and the Inquisitor wants to see him, and so Alec takes Simon to the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor pretends like he's all happy and oh yeah, we'll take him straight through the portal, and he starts questioning him. It's saying that the Lightwoods are responsible, and wanting him to tell him that the Lightwoods are responsible. He didn't want to, so they threw him in his prison, and he met Samuel down there who was talking to him, and actually was telling him about Ryan's person, telling him that on the cell they had drawn stars of David, I think, to keep him in. So he touched him, he burned. And back when Sebastian was also at the house then. So and then when they finally get to the City of Glass, they go to Luke's sister's house, Amantis, who helps Clare because of the lake water, and uses her steel to get rid of whatever is doing with that. And Luke has to leave. So Clare goes to Jace. Clare goes to the Penhallows where the Lightwoods and Jace are staying to see him. And he gets all mad at seeing her there, and screams at her and tells her that she destroys everything she doesn't think. And so she runs out and is all sad. And Sebastian's like, "Here, I'll walk you home." And then Alec tells Jace that they actually had that Simon never actually went back to New York, and so he gets all mad and punches a window. And Alex tells him that he has tea like a mundane, so he's not going to let him draw a rune on it. And then Clare tells Sebastian about Ragnarfell, and how she needs to find him. And next day, Sebastian comes to a window and says he knows where he is. So they ride over to Ragnarfell, and who comes out of the house? Magnus, who pretends to be Ragnarfell, and so he frees Sebastian and tells Clare the real Ragnarfell was killed by demons, and that he knows that her mom had used a potion in the Book of the White to put herself to sleep, and the antidote was in there that she needed to find it. It was at the Wayland Manor in a cookbook. And so they go, and Sebastian takes Clary to the Fairchild mansion or manor where her grandparents and her mom had lived. And then he kissed, and then ever since they first saw each other, felt like they recognized each other. Because, later figure out that they're actually brother and sister, and that's the real Jonathan Christopher, who has demon blood and everything. And they kiss, and she freaks out and says it is weird. And later she tells Jace about everything, and so they go to the Wayland Manor to find the book, and they find it in the beautiful library that he has, which seems amazing. And the volumes, he's like, I wasn't allowed to touch these, and so they take one off, and then they knock all of them off, and it opens a secret door to the cellars. And they go down, and they find a bunch of bones, and an angel there, and a thing that keeps him in prison so he can't die. Shows them images of Valentine torturing him, and of Valentine getting blood from a demon to give to Jonathan, and her mom saying that he's a monster, and her hiding the book, and all those, and that, and then they free him, and the whole house is falling down, so they have to leave really fast. And then they go back to the city, and on the mountain they see that it's burning. And so monsters have taken all over the streets, and Isabel and the Lightwoods and all of them get weapons to try to fight it. And then she ends up running onto the street to save Lynn, the Penhallow's daughter, because she had gotten taken by one of the demons that she wanted to save her, and then she had run off, and she met up with Alex. They went back to the house, put protection words on it to kind of help Max, because earlier he had said that he had seen someone climbing the demon towers, and now the wards were all down, and they had just told him he was crazy, because that was illegal. But then Isabel went up to get her steel, and she went back down, and she didn't see them, and she was like, Simon, Sebastian, Max. And they had gone over and seen that they had saw that they were in the kitchen, so he went in there, and Sebastian's like, I'm sorry about this, and hit her on the head with the hammer and knocked her out. Then they had fought the demons and all of them, and then the people were gathering at the Accords Hall, where they were trying to see all the people. And then Simon never got out, so they went to go get Simon. So they got him out, and he's like, no, get Samuel too. And Samuel didn't want to get out, but when they finally got him out, they realized it was Hodge, and Hodge was telling them that Lake Lynn was actually the mirror, the third mortal instrument that no one could find. And then Sebastian had killed him, and so they were all mad at him. He's like, why did you do that? He's like, he was gonna kill you. And he's like, okay, fine. If people think of that, you'd be okay to go into the court hall and tell him. He's like, fine. It was like they had to fight him too. He ended up running off. And then they went back inside and figured out that Max had died. They were all super sad about that. And the next day, Evelyn had told Clare that I wasn't the real Sebastian. And so they went to go tell the people in the hall. They went to go tell them that that wasn't the real Sebastian when Valentine had come in. Because they were trying to plan to ally themselves down in order, but they didn't want to. And Valentine came in a holograph for him and was saying, he was like, you guys can swear to rule under me, and all Shadowrunners have to get a rune drawn, they have to take an oath and get a rune that binds them to me. Or I'll put my own monsters on you. And the new Inquisitor had come down and be like, what? And reached his hand, and Valentine came and he killed him. So it was just a holograph, and then he left. And then he said they have till tomorrow at midnight. Tomorrow at midnight. And so he was doing that. And she was telling Jace about that and everything. And then they went and told Jace and Alec, and they figured out that Isabel was in her room because she was super sad that what had happened to Max and everything, because he had died and thought it was her fault. And he went back and Jace and they were all talking, and they were talking and everything. And then Jace comes to her, and is like, that night he came and he's like, I want to spend the night together. She's like, okay. And so they spent the night together, and he was saying that he loved her, and that if they could spend all the night together, that would be amazing. And the next day she woke up and he was gone. And he had left her a note and the Morgenstern ring. She went down and saw Isabel, and she told Isabel to read the note. And she was like, wasn't super worried like she was. She had put on a shadow to go and like freaked out and ran downstairs. She wasn't as worried. He's like, Jace has a reason. And she said that she didn't. And then they were talking, and Isabel got mad. She was like, and then Clare got mad at her too. He's like, that's the reason you don't like me. And she was like, the reason I don't like you is how, like, basically that Jace loves her, but yeah, since they're brother and sister, they can't be together. And then her mom comes in to the room, and she starts screaming at her mom, because she's like, why didn't you tell me I had a brother? And she was saying she was mad at her, and that she did a bad job protecting her, so she ran off. And Simon coming in, and she went back to the Accords, because she figured out, because the angel before had shown her a rune, and she figured out there was a lion's rune. She went into the hall and told them all about her power, and that this rune would allow them to have the same powers as Downworlders, and they could align worlders. They can align themselves together and defeat them. And since they were just deliberating it, she had to wait outside, and her mom had come to tell her everything. Her mom told her about what had happened about Jonathan, that she had found Valentine because she thought the ideas were good and everything, and that when she became pregnant, he was super happy, and she had gotten sort of sick, and he had given her sleeping potions, but she just dreamed that she was being poisoned and everything. And he gave her and told her about that the demon and Jonathan had gotten demon blood, and when he saw her, she freaked out and said he was a monster. That she had figured out what he was doing, and that he had told her that Luke was actually dead. And then she got pregnant with her. He was giving her like angel blood on accident. Didn't know he was pregnant with another child. She didn't know. He didn't know she was pregnant with another child. She's giving her angel blood, and that's why she has the power she does. And that Jace and that monster Jonathan was. Then she told him. She was like, why are you talking about Jace like that? He's like, I'm not talking about Jace. She said that Jace was actually Stephen Harrendel's son, who had been cut out of his mom's stomach and raised by Valentine. That also, that Jonathan was actually Sebastian, who was also raised by him. And then Luke said that they had wanted to fight, and so she went in and she told them about the rune, and that they went downward, had drawn on the Shadow Hunter. Shadow Hunter had drawn on the downward. And Jace had ended up finding where Valentine and Sebastian were, and they were talking about how he was supposed to do it at midnight. He was going to let out the demons. He was going to Lakeland to raise the angel, because he could make a request so that they would take away all Shadow Hunter power, and they would all turn into Forsaken, except the ones who had drinking from the Mortal Cup. And then he had left, and once he left, Sebastian was like, you can come out, Jace, I know you're there. And he had knocked him out. And once he woke up, he opened the portal. So all the demons came out, so they were fighting them. And the vampires had said they wouldn't fight unless they gave them Simon, and so Clare drew the mark of Cain on him to where anyone who hurts him would get worse. And Maya brought Simon to them, and they were like, okay, fine, we'll fight, because they were going to kill him, but then they couldn't, so fine, we'll fight, but you have to fight too. and he fought. And Jace and Sebastian, they had started fighting. He had convinced him to, and Sebastian was about to die. He was like coughing up blood and was very hurt after the long fight that they had. And he was like telling them that that he has like angel blood or something. He was telling him all kind of that. And Isabel had come, and she had used a whip to cut off his hand, because she had come as soon as she figured out that Jace and Clare weren't actually brother and sister. She wanted to tell her, and she started to go healing him when Sebastian came and had knocked her off and was starting to hurt her. And so Jace got up and had killed Sebastian, thankfully, because he was horrible. And since they figured out they weren't actually brother and sister, he was filled with like a new relation. And Clare had also figured out his plans from the council, and so she had portaled to Lake Lynn to stop him. And she had woken up, and she had a silent ring on her. She couldn't talk, and her hands and legs were bound by Valentine. And he was about to kill her with the mortal sword when Jace came and knocked it out of his hand. So he had fought with Jace, and he ended up killing Jace. And when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, Jace cannot die now that they know that Jace cannot die now that they know they're not brother and sister, because they have to be able to be together. And so he had used it to bring the angel, but he was saying the angel that they wanted to cleanse the world of the downworlders, and he was like, why would I help you solve the problem that you've created? Downworlders are still people. Downworlders have souls. And then Clare had crawled over to the circle that I had drawn, had summoned him, and changed one of the runes and made her master of it. And so he's like, I still have to offer one favor for the person that summoned me. It's like, but that wasn't you. That was your daughter. And he's like, oh my gosh. And so the angel had killed Valentine and asked Clare what she wanted, and she said that she wanted Jace to come back. She wanted Jace, and so he brought Jace back to life. And so Jace was fine, thankfully, and all that. So they could be together, finally. They know they're not brother and sister. Then they had Valentine's funeral, and they're having a party to celebrate the win, where and before that, Jocelyn and Luke were talking, and Luke finally told Jocelyn that he loved her. And so he left, because Jocelyn didn't say anything. And then his sister was like, you love him too? And he's like, yes. And she's like, go after him. And so he ran after him and told him all that. And the council now has and Clare was told that she could draw the new rune for the council, for the cloud that had all the 4 downloaders, because if downloaders are now had a seat on the council. And so she told him that she could draw the new rune. They went to the party. And Jocelyn went and told them, so they were together. And they went to the party, and they were watching the fireworks. And the Sea Lady Queen asked Clare to come over there, and it's like, if you do me a favor, I'll do you one too. Like, tell Luke that I want Mallory on the council seat for the fairies. And she's like, I don't need a favor from you. And so she left. And they had all ended up being all happy together and watching the fireworks. This is a really good book, and I really like this first part of the series. This is the second part of the next 3 books, which I can't wait to read, and then the Infernal Devices series, which goes along with it, which I can't wait to read. Please make sure to comment your opinions down below. I really like this book, especially the fact that they're not actually brother and sister, and that Sebastian was dead for now, and that Valentine had died finally, because he was a horrible person and he was trying to use the mortal instruments on them and everything. So make sure to comment your opinions down below, and thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.